Hi everybody, if you've been following along on our summer trip to Churchill, you've seen us go kayaking with beluga whales and out on the tundra looking for polar bears. In this video, we head back out on the water with two different boat tours, each with their own special twist, as we look for more whales, more bears, and then finally topping off our summer Churchill trifecta with the Northern Lights. Good morning everybody, it is our third day in Churchill. Today I've booked us on a boat tour. We're going to go check out some whales and see a historic fort. The fort is a National Historic Site. Upon arrival, a National Park officer met us and served as our tour guide, giving us the history of the area and the fort. There were polar bear spotters on quads that were positioned on a bluff to keep us safe. The Prince of Wales Fort is located on the Eskimo Peninsula across from town, and there are no roads that lead there. The fort first began as a trading operation in the 1600s, established by the Hudson Bay Company, looking to increase trade in the north. Indigenous groups would trade meat, fish, and furs. In the 1720s, peace between England and France was falling apart, and England selected the peninsula as a strategic location to build a stone fortification to protect their assets on the Hudson Bay. The fort took over 40 years to build due to the short building season and extra time it took for the men just to survive. Living conditions here were very harsh. Fires were required for warmth, yet on the tundra there are no trees, so men would have to go far inland to obtain them. In the 1780s, 3 French warships made it to the fort, however no battle ensued. The fort surrendered rather quickly due to only having 39 non-military men. The French damaged all the cannons and some of the fort, though much of it still stands over 250 years later. A popular place for polar bears to be in the summer is Eskimo Point. After the fort, we cruised down and we were lucky enough to see 2 male bears. The boat was quite rocky, so my footage of these bears was not as crisp as I would have liked. However, I was able to capture plenty of stills. We watched these bears for about 10 minutes and they put on a phenomenal show. Our captain, who is a Churchillian, was quite impressed as well because he said, "You never see bears spar in the summer," and we got to watch them. They played and you could tell they were real good friends, and man do they look ferocious. And when they stand up, they are so tall. These 2 bears were number 7 and 8 for us and just as special as the first 6. Although the bears were a bonus of the tour is actually the Whale and Fort tour. It was then time to focus our attention on the beluga whales. What I liked about this boat were the platforms at the front and back that you could climb up and be able to see the whales in the water. It gave a nice vantage point to be able to see them really well, both when they were far away and right next to the boat. It made it really easy for everyone to be able to see them. The captain also lowered a microphone in the water and projected out the sounds of the whales. Seeing them is really cool, but being able to hear them is another thing that's very special. They make all sorts of funny noises. The beluga whales in Churchill are unlike beluga whales in other parts of the world. Here they are much more curious and playful, and they feel safer, so they're much more willing to follow and come right up to the boats. Although whale sightings are never guaranteed, they have thousands that come here to breed every summer, and so your chance to see them, or 100 of them, is really good. If you didn't want to kayak with the whales, this is a great alternative to be able to see them. Another alternative to being out on the water would be a Zodiac boat tour. This is our last tour on the water, and to be able to enjoy these beautiful whales. If you've never been on a Zodiac boat, the seating is a little unusual and awkward. Here there are no seats and you actually sit on the side tube of the boat. This tour also took us out by Eskimo Point, where we previously saw the 2 male bears sparring. This time we just saw one sleepy bear. I only got a couple photos because it was difficult to see. This was our 9th and last bear in Churchill. We then spent more time with the beluga whales. They like to chase the boat, so we got to watch them follow us a few times. We would then stop every now and then to watch them and let them come up to the boat. What I liked about this tour was you are closer to the water, so if you have a GoPro with a long stick on it like me, it was super easy to stick it in the water and get some super awesome footage. The underwater camera lets you see more into the world of what is happening beneath you, and it is pretty cool. I cannot believe how many whales the camera picked up. It was way more than we could see with our eyes. The polar bears was what we came to see, and we saw 9 of them, each one magical in their own way. We loved the bears so much, but it was the belugas that really stole the show. The interactions with them are much closer and more personal. Just because there is less of a chance to see the bears and northern lights in the summer does not mean it is any less of a reason to come, because summertime is the only time you can see the belugas, and they are 100% worth seeing, whether you kayak, take the Whale and Fort tour, or take the Zodiac. Super excited. It is our last night here. We were just kind of celebrating with some drinks and also a bit alarmed because I got a call that the northern lights are starting to come out. So they said we're going to be there in 20 minutes. Get ready. We're going to hopefully find some northern lights. It's our last thing on the Churchill trifecta to cross off, so I'm really hoping that we can see them. We're sitting outside waiting for our pickup. It is currently 10:45 p.m. Here we go. We just got back from our Northern Lights tour. Oh my gosh, it was super cool. They took us to 2 different spots. Along the way, they told us how to set our phones and like what to do, since most of us are using iPhones to film. When we got there, then they scanned around for polar bears. Once they deemed it was safe, then they told us to go out and stay close to the bus, and then we had free reign to take all the pictures that we wanted. They even took some pictures of us, which was super cool because you got some really nice footage. The first spot that we went to was out by the Hudson Bay, kind of chilly. Then about midnight, they said that we'll make a trip through town. If anybody wanted to be dropped back off at their hotel, they could. Otherwise, we're gonna go to a second spot, which was by the Churchill River. That spot was beautiful because they had some old abandoned buildings, but was much chillier because of the wind. I am so glad we got to see the northern lights here. This trip has been just beyond incredible. The loads of whales, the 9 polar bears, it's all just really indescribable on how awesome this place is. We haven't even left yet, and I'm already planning to come back.